What's one thing we haven't talked about today, Ace, that gets you fired up? Could be a business principle, how you run your company, a hot sports take no one shares.
No, I mean, I would just say like I never really understood how important culture was in a business until we
Yeah.
actually struggled with it and
Yeah.
ended up succeeding with it through various different ways. But culture is just so important. Not only does it
Yeah.
help with, your employees wanting to show up, but it also helps with the customer getting the best moving service and packing service. And then in addition to that, enforcing it's so much easier, right? From an operational HR point of view, if we have somebody who's not meeting the standards of our core values, it's something very quickly to point out, right? And so like just from a management standpoint, it makes things a lot easier. It's a good branding look as well. When I have realtors come in here, when I have title companies come in here and they see all of our walls are plastered with our core values, our procedures, all that type of deal, it's just a good look too. So I think culture is something that's really forgotten, especially for growing like us. Once you get to seven figures and up, that's where I see a lot of bottlenecks happen is there's a lot of employee turnover. So we've been trying our best to prevent that.
This episode is brought to you by 10x Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10x Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker: they only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by Rakowski Law Firm. If you're a business owner or have built a level of wealth, but you don't have your estate plan dialed in, you're exposed. Rakowski Law Firm helps families and business owners protect their assets, avoid probate, and make sure everything transfers exactly how it should. This isn't just paperwork, it's a real strategy to protect your legacy. If you haven't looked at your plan in a while or don't have one, go to rakowskilawfirm.com. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Builder's Bible. I'm joined by Ace Sathe, and I was worried about messing his name up because he was just helping me understand how to do that before the call. He is the owner of Alpine Moving and Storage, or Alpine Moving Company, and he acquired the company. So I'm interested to hear a little bit more about that. And it sounds like they're killing it. And in fact, he was just telling me how he was able to scale without necessarily putting more trucks on the road. So I kind of wanted to double click on that. Ace, you're my second mover I've had on the show. And I'm just fascinated by the space, man. Tell us how you got started with the company.
Well, it was actually a pretty cool story. So I ended up working for the original owner who started it in 2012, right out of high school. So it was kind of just a job that I was trying to do to pay my rent as I was going through college. I was enrolled at our local public university here. And I started off as a mover and got to know the owner pretty well. Just worked my butt off. I mean, there's not really any other unique way to say it. I was always picking up shifts, asking what else I could be doing, and so it was an easy way to differentiate myself. And then from there, I kind of got the ins of the business, figured out what exactly was needed for the business, was lacking. From there, it just kind of sprouted from there, and I eventually took it over roughly about 4 years ago.
This episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high income business owner or professional and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team. What's up, everybody? This episode is sponsored by ExitWise. If you're a business owner thinking about selling your company, whether that's now or years down the road, you need to know what your business is actually worth and how to maximize that exit. That's exactly what ExitWise does. They help you prepare, position, and ultimately sell your business by assembling a world-class team of M&A experts around you, guiding you from valuation all the way through closing. If you want to know what your business is really worth and how to increase that number before you sell, go check out exitwise.com and get ahead of it. Man, that's awesome. I saw a couple of your guys' videos. What was it? Oh, you were moving hot tubs. And I
Hmm.
guess, Ace, I've just never thought intricately about the kind of crap that you might have to move. What are some of the more common things that people would not expect that you like have to move like more often than you might think?
Yeah, sure. That's actually a good question. So obviously, you're going to have the standard furniture boxes, but then a lot of things that clients will buy over the course of certain years while they're residing in their home is things like pianos, right? So upright pianos, teaching their kid how to play a instrument. We'll also see gun safes quite frequently. So
Hmm.
in the garages and master closets, and then hot tubs. People either acquire hot tubs through a new home or they're passing it on to their kids. And the cost of moving a hot tub is just way cheaper than buying a hot tub brand new. So that's just the economics of it. So we see a lot of hot tub moves as well.
Is way cheaper than buying. So it'd be easy. Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is it'd be better for me to get a hot tub from a buddy of mine and have you move it than it would be for me to get a new one.
A thousand
Yeah.
percent. Yep.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by Blue Collar Business Advisors. If you're running an HVAC, plumbing, electrical, or landscaping, or any other type of home service business and wondering where all the money is going despite growing your revenue, you need to talk to Paul Maskill. Paul has scaled and sold multiple blue collar businesses and now helps business owners improve cash flow, profitability, and financial clarity through outsourced CFO services. His clients gain a better understanding of their numbers, build predictable profits, and create a business that supports the life they actually want. One of the things I appreciate most about Paul is he's not just a finance guy. He's been in the trenches as an owner. He understands the challenges of running blue collar businesses because he's done it himself. If you're doing a few $1 million a year in revenue and want to stop guessing at your numbers and start building real wealth, head over to bluecollaradvisors.com. That's the bluecollaradvisors.com and schedule a discovery call with Paul and his team. Blue Collar Business Advisors, helping blue collar business owners build financially healthy companies and achieve permanent profitability. This episode is brought to you by Corberry Digital. If you own an HVAC, plumbing, electrical, roofing, or home service business and you're tired of wondering where your next lead is coming from, you need to check out Corberry Digital. Corberry specializes exclusively in helping home service companies dominate their local markets through SEO, Google Ads, local service ads, websites, content marketing, and lead generation systems that actually produce a measurable ROI. Their team doesn't just focus on clicks and impressions, they help contractors lower customer acquisition costs, increase qualified leads, and build a marketing engine that scales. What I like about Corberry is they understand the blue collar space. They aren't trying to be everything to everyone. Their entire focus is helping trades businesses win in their backyard and generate more profitable jobs. If you're looking to grow your business, improve your online visibility, and build a marketing system that works, visit Corberry.com and schedule a strategy session with their team. That's Corberry.com. Tell them you heard about them on the podcast. So, what makes you guys different? I'm sure you get that a lot. And I'm going to ask it from two different perspectives. I'm going to ask it as a potential hire, like a moving guy, like why should I work for you? And also like what makes you guys different to the consumer?
Sure. So I feel like a lot of our focus in the past few years has been on two different things. The first, the customer experience, and then secondly, probably the employees. So we have a business coach that we consult with for quite a bit of our stuff. And one of the mottos he likes to use, which I really really like, is that your number one customer is your employees.
Hmm.
If you can lead your employees enough to the point where they like you, they are naturally going to do their job better. And
Hmm.
so they're going to be in a direct reflection of you when they're servicing customers. So, I mean, that translates to the customer experience as well. If the movers are doing a bang job, thinking like an owner, having ownership mentality, then naturally the customer is going to have a great experience. Right. So, I feel like that's a really tough thing that a lot of business owners don't really focus on is it's really hard to get movers and employees to really be owner focused when it comes to making sure the customer's happy, right? So going the extra step, exceeding expectations, just showing they care. Um, so I mean, they're correlated both in and of the same. So if you were to really translate the customer experience to how movers are treated, it's the same way that we treat our movers. It's the same way the movers are going to be treating the customers.
This episode is brought to you by Jonathan Keim and the teams at 360 Commercial Roofing and Top Roof Marketing. If you own or manage commercial property, or you're a roofing contractor looking to grow, Jonathan has spent more than a decade helping businesses protect their buildings and scale through proven commercial roofing and marketing systems. His companies specialize in commercial roofing solutions, roof asset management, and marketing built specifically for the roofing industry. Whether you need a trusted commercial roofing partner or want to generate more qualified roofing leads, check out 360 Commercial Roofing or Top Roof Marketing. You can go to www.360, like 360, commercialroofing.com, and Top Roof Marketing, www.toproofmarketing.com. Now let's get into today's episode. What would you say right now is going really well with your business, and then what are some challenges you guys are facing?
What's going really well is probably inbound leads, right? So like we're getting to the point where we're trying to decide where we stand in terms of what types of jobs we want to take. So I'd say that's been our biggest struggle, and it's a good problem to have. So deciding if we should take the small jobs and then focusing more on the bigger jobs. So we're at that point where, if we're not a good fit for a client who needs just a couch moved, there's plenty of other moving companies that will do that. And then second part of your question, I'd say we're not really, I would say, struggling with anything per se, because we've just been working our butts off to address every single operational loophole we have, and being very intentional about training and creating a really, really strong team. So
That's awesome. I know for a lot of guys, it's just finding the right laborers. Is that not been a problem for you guys? Is hiring and finding the right guys to be a part of the team, or you guys have that one figured out? Because I'd be curious if you do, to hear
yeah,
what you're doing differently.
yeah, good question. So I don't necessarily think there's a problem with the talent pool out there. I think there's a problem with the leadership and the training.
Yeah.
Um, I don't remember where I saw this video, but it just like made so much sense in my business when I was really thinking about it. Why is McDonald's and Chick-fil-A able to be successful by not having the best employees? It's because their training is so good. They can have somebody who's 40 years old and somebody who's 18 years old work cohesively really, really well to run the store. So it's not a matter of who's there. It's a matter of how good is the training and the leadership. So that's been our biggest focus, is as long as we find somebody who's willing to work their butt off, right? They don't necessarily have to have all the components we're looking for, but we can develop them into a person that can become that. So I think leadership is super important. Training is super important, being very intentional about it. We're like probably the only moving company that really dives into training with movers so much more than what I've seen in the industry. And it's made a world of a difference because it's made our hiring process a lot easier.
Where are you guys at, out of curiosity, in terms of overall sales or revenue? It sounds like you guys are on the up and up.
Yeah. So, I mean, this year we're going to be, the first quarter of this year has been our best quarter ever. April is, what is today? April 14th. We're about to have the best April in company history. So we're projecting towards close to probably a little over seven figures.
That's awesome, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I know that in moving companies, man, the margins can be really thin. Like, have you found ways to increase your net sale for each client, like upsells or value adds or tack-ons?
Yeah, so that's been another big focus, I'd say, since last November, is the sales process and upselling. So we believe every single team member that is visiting the customer, that is talking to the customer, that is dealing with the customer, from the salesman to the mover to the ops manager, they're all salesmen.
Hmm.
So any single chance that they see that they can upsell a customer on a need, not something that they're just trying to tell them and get a commission on, but something that the customer genuinely needs, it becomes so much more natural to sell it. And then if it's coming from a mover, it just shows authenticity, in my opinion. So we believe every single person that's out there on the job that's wearing an Alpine shirt is a salesman for Alpine. So
Yeah.
upselling has been a really, really big focus for us, and it's helped us increase our higher ticket price, which has then allowed us to take less jobs while focusing on the really, really nice jobs and making sure they're done really, really well.
You mentioned earlier that you guys at one point were able to scale pretty fast without adding more trucks on the road. Like you said you found kind of a niche in terms of the types of clients you were helping. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I would say another big thing that I'm starting to see with a lot of moving companies is they're focusing on advertising and promoting and doing any sort of marketing possible to try to get as many leads as possible. And I think there is benefit to that. However, I personally, whenever I'm looking at where I'm at, I like to compare myself to a moving company that's doing 5x what I'm doing. So that's exactly what I did. So I looked at, okay, what's a competitor in my local area that's doing 5 times revenue, has 5 times the number of the trucks as me? What are they doing? Networking. It's not fancy, it's pretty boring, but networking is so valuable for us. And it has just gave us returns tenfold because the only cost we have is being there and actually
Yeah.
creating relationships and, walking the talk also, right? So like it's one thing to pitch, hey, Andrew, we're the best mover out there. We've got the best Google reviews. We've got the best movers. And it's another thing to actually serve you like that. So um, networking has been really, really good for us. And not a lot of moving companies are looking into it. And not a lot of companies in general will do it just because you need to be very consistent as well. So I'd say another big differentiator for us is just we are so consistent with everything we do.
Hmm. Yeah.
Everything.
Love that.
So
Let's talk about AI for a second. How are you guys integrating it into your business?
yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. So the easiest way is through the estimating process. There's a lot of different softwares out there now that integrate with CRMs where you can estimate customers accurately using AI. So we'll take a call of the customer, take a video call with the customer, get a walk through the home. They'll get an inventory, the number of packing supplies we need, labor hours, all that type of deal, and it's able to essentially turn around our estimating time super super fast. So that's how AI has been implemented. I mean, there's other things too, right? So like we have our own, bots that we use for ops for sales, so that it kind of like makes our processes a lot more seamless. So if I have an employee that says I don't know what to do with X, Y, and Z, before they come to me, before they go to the manager, they put it in the chat, figure out what our process is with our handbook.
Hmm.
That's really all it is. And then they're becoming problem solvers in and of themselves. So problems aren't coming to us and they're becoming solutions before. There's a lot of different ways, right? So you'll deal with AI receptionists. I mean, there's a lot of different ways AI is implemented in moving businesses. I personally feel like the biggest thing people are not taking advantage of is content creation. I just I feel like that's going to be the next big thing. So automating content creation and your social media presence, I think, is going to be the next big push that we'll see probably 3 to 4 years from now.
Yeah. What's one thing we haven't talked about today, Ace, that gets you fired up? Could be a business principle, how you run your company, a hot sports take no one shares.
No, I mean, I would just say like I never really understood how important culture was in a business until we
Yeah.
actually struggled with it and
Yeah.
ended up succeeding with it through various different ways. But culture is just so important. Not only does it
Yeah.
help with your employees wanting to show up, but it also helps with the customer getting the best moving service and packing service there is. And then in addition to that, enforcing it's so much easier, right? From an operational HR point of view, if we have somebody who's not meeting the standards of our core values, it's something very quickly to point out, right? And so, like, just from a management standpoint, it makes things a lot easier. It's a good branding look as well. When I have realtors come in here, when I have title companies come in here and they see all of our walls are plastered with our core values, our procedures, all that type of deal, it's just a good look too. So I think culture is something that's really forgotten, especially for growing companies like us. Once you get to 7 figures and up, that's where I see a lot of bottlenecks happen. Is there's a lot of employee turnover. So we've been trying our best to prevent that.
Yeah. Well, Ace, if people wanted to learn more about who you are and what you do, where can they go?
They can call us at 970-488-9442, or they can go to any of our social media links, which is Alpine Moving Co. But yeah, just give us a call and we'll help out any clients they need.
I love that, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Don't go anywhere because I want to keep talking, but thanks for coming on the show.
No, of course, man. Thanks for the time.